Well, we're on the most recent camp trip with the Tidewood and got some good news. We got the leak fixed on the back window. We've got the front window protector working quite well, and it stores really nice, as you can see there on the front of the RV. That's nice. We're very impressed with the battery. I want to increase our battery capacity to 3 batteries. We've got the Lion Energy UT1300 batteries, and we have 1 battery that we charged before coming here. We got here on Thursday. This is now Monday, and it's still over 50% charge on the battery with no solar, no power plugged into it, and it's been running our set power refrigerator, our 12-volt compressor refrigerator cooler, the entire time we've been here, and I still have over 50% of the battery. So that's all good stuff. Bad stuff. When I was finishing the interior walls, either the front or the back wall, finishing trim work to get it textured and painted, which it all is inside now, I put a nail or a screw through the wires of my marker lights, and right now I have no marker lights. So guess what our next project is? We got to figure out where I did that and get it fixed. Fun. Always something, isn't it? Well, we're back from the lake, and I have to say it was very nice to have a good rain while we were there and no leaks on the back window. Yay, so we got that fixed. Now it is on to the marker light issue. And when I was leaving, it was all the marker lights. I thought I disconnected all of the marker lights, but I inadvertently only disconnected the front marker lights, and my rear marker lights came back on. So now I know it's an issue with the front marker lights. And my guess is the wire runs right on the top of this header that's right behind here. And when I mounted these boards here, I put screws through, and I'm guessing the screws went through the wires and shorted it out. So unfortunately, this is like taking a big step backwards, but I now need to take that whole 45-degree wall off and figure out what's going on with the wire. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the wire all the way back to the outside wall, so as I put new screws in, there's no chance that they can come in contact with that. But yeah, I have to tear apart some stuff I just finished to fix the wiring so I can put it back together. Yep, it is what it is. Let's get to it. Well, things are moving forward a little bit better than I thought they would be, but I've got good news and bad news. Good news, I cannot find any damage by any of these screws to the wires. The bad news is I can't find any damage to these wires by the screws up here. This was going to be the easy, just deal with this one section of wall, get it done, refit, put it all back together without having to go any further. I think I'm going to have to do some electrical testing, but I think it could be this one because the wires drop down, go to the bottom of this board, go along the bottom, and then go down to the lights here and down at the bottom. Or it's this screw here that possibly maybe does the same thing. So I've got to do some electrical testing, but I may have to open more of my wall. That is not what I wanted to hear, but yeah. So we'll figure it out and move forward. So we've been working on this marker light problem on the front, and I'm a little baffled what I did to the wiring. I have cut my wire. You can see here's the ends for this side. There's the ends for that side. I can actually hook a 9-volt battery to that side and those lights come on. I hook the same 9-volt battery to this side, the lights do not come on. So it's over in this corner. I've also gone as far as on the outside. I have disconnected all the wires from the 7-pin, tested it. I've taken both lights off, the upper and lower marker lights. I've tested them, they both work. So it should not be a light issue. So I think the next course of action, as much as I don't like the sound of it, is I think I have to take this corner apart and dig more into my wall to find out what the issue is. I mean, on a good note, this is also going to be our shower. Forget about the base plate for the porta pot, that's going to be moved. You can see the lines for the shower on the floor, and this whole wall will be tiled. I also have a stud right here, and I think what I'm going to do is try to work off of that stud and cut that entire section of wall out and remove that whole section of wall so I can get in and find out what's going on with my wiring, so that once I get my wiring fixed, I can get back to putting this thing back together. But I think, unfortunately, that's my next step. So I'm going to have to take part of this wall apart. Yeah, I guess on a good note, it'll be covered with shower tile when I get that far. And that'll be our shower, so it won't be the bare wall anyway. But that there is the culprit. So after tearing my whole corner apart, didn't find anything down there. Nothing. When I got up here, I don't even know if you can see it, they're so small. There's a small chunk out of the green wire and a small chunk out of the white wire. This screw, this little bugger right here, went in that hole and shorted my system out. Just barely nicked. That whole thing just barely nicked. But I know what the issue is. We're gonna get her fixed. All right, we got everything rewired. Plugged it into the truck, double checked, everything checks out in the voltmeter I've got, everything checks out good. Plug it into the truck, all my marker lights work. So now it's back to putting the walls back together and then moving on to the next project. So yay, we're putting the wall back together. Back at it today. I removed all of the supports I had that were holding this front piece on. Everything's glued in. I've got all of the holes filled with expanding foam, and I actually have the first piece. I'm reusing this little corner piece that I cut out, but I got it installed, making sure I didn't put it anywhere near where that screw had gone through my wires. Got everything marked clearly to where the wires go through, so I don't do that mistake twice. And now I'm working on cutting out the pieces to get those covered. And fingers crossed this afternoon I can get the first coat of filler on here so that hopefully by Wednesday we're painting. That's my That's my hope, and let's get to it. Got all the new paneling up. Got my fingers crossed that I didn't screw anything up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the truck in and just double check, because it won't be that bad to separate it now if I had to, but I'm pretty darn sure I did keep everything where it should be, and there should be no issues. But we'll just double check before we do it. But it's ready to have the filler put on, get it textured, get it painted, and then start rolling back on new stuff on the trailer. That'll be cool. Well, I'm almost back to where I was. So I've got all of the fill done, sanded, textured, and got the coat of primer put on. And it's ready for 2 coats of paint now, well, once it dries. And I've also started priming the sections of the floor that are going to have cabinets or other things. Like in the corner over here is going to be the shower. The toilet's going to be over here. We're thinking about building a small built-in linen cabinet in the bathroom. There's going to be the stand for the cooler / refrigerator, and over here is the dinette area. The rest of the floor is not done yet. I want to clean it up and spread some floor leveler down before I prime and paint the floor, before we put the flooring down, but that's way down the road. I figure since I'm getting as close to I am building the cabinets, I figured let's get the floor where the cabinets are going to go, let's get that primered. Because once I get the wall painted, the ceiling is going to be next. So insulating and installing the ceiling, I got cedar tongue and groove board from Home Depot. That is going to be our ceiling. And once I get the painting caught back up so that I'm back done with all the walls, I will start working on the ceiling. Once I get that done, then we're going to start working on cabinets and that stuff, probably the bathroom first. So I need to order the shower pan and get that going. But having it primed, and I'll put a couple coats of paint down on that. That way that section is sealed. And probably even go along where the wall and the floor meet with some caulking, which I need to go buy some more. But to seal up that gap as well before I put the 2 coats of paint on, so that the entire floor, even that doesn't have the flooring going down on it, it'll be sealed and better water resistance if, or I should say when, we get a leak inside. I mean, I would love to say that I'm such a good construction worker that I won't ever have a leak in this trailer, but I know better than that. I mean, I've already had to tear my wall apart to fix wiring. But yeah. I'm going to try to make it as watertight as possible. One of the things that I always quite didn't understand with a regular manufactured RV is how much bare wood there is. And I still have some bare wood here on the floor, but that will be, once I get some floor leveler down, get it all ready to put the flooring itself down, I will paint that as well beforehand, prime and paint that with 2 coats of paint. But I'm just trying to do everything I can to seal things up, so when I spill that glass of water or what have you, the chances of it soaking into the wood and causing rot problems will be minimized. I know I can't make it 100% waterproof, but I'm doing what I can, and we'll keep chipping away at it. Got the first coat of paint on. It's amazing how just getting that first coat kind of hides where I've had to tear it all apart and redo it, but it's looking really good. I like the way it's coming out. Can't really tell I did anything. In the corner that I did have to tear out the most, that's also going to be the shower wall, and I found some different types of tile. It's not actual real heavy tile, it's like a composite tile, and I'm going to use those for the shower wall. So a lot of that you may be able to see where I had to mend the wall, you're not going to be able to, because it's going to get covered by that product. And then that gets me almost back to where I was when we left for camping, and now we're getting ahead. We have started putting up the ceiling insulation. We'll get to work on that. I've got some boards here that I had left over from another project. I'm going to do as much as I can with that And when I run out of there, it'll also give me a good idea how much more I need to finish the roof. It'll be 2 layers of 1.5 inch thick foam in the roof. So it'll be full 3 inches of the foam there. The walls and floor are solid 2 inch, so everything's well covered. Yeah, I've got the boards in the garage for the ceiling itself. Got their first coat of varnish on them. Yeah, got a ways to go because each side's going to get a minimum of 2 coats on. I may put 3 on the outside layer that'll be exposed here in the trailer, but we'll see. But yeah, we're starting to work on the ceiling, starting to get more things done. So that's exciting. Been productive getting things done. I've got the second coat of paint on this wall, so it's all back together. We're back to at least where I had been. I got this window frame all reinstalled just now. The second coat of paint on the floor where the cabinets are going to go is done. I still need to smooth out and do some filling on the main floor before I lay the flooring down, which I haven't even bought yet. And then today the new gasket material came for the doors. So I got all new gaskets on the door. And unlike the old stuff that was too thick and too wide, this closes. So got that done, and the new gasket on both of the pass-through doors as well. So all my gaskets have been replaced. That's done. I'm still working on getting the first layer of insulation up in the ceiling. And I've been working on the ceiling boards themselves. I got packages of knotty cedar, tongue and groove. I bought all this at Home Depot. I have already put 2 coats of indoor-outdoor spar varathane on the back, and I've got the first coat on the front of them. And then they need a sand with 220 and at least 1 more, if not 2 more coats on the outside for those to be finished and ready to be installed. But now that I've got that wall back together, the ceiling is my next big step, and we'll keep chipping away until that is done. And then I can start building cabinets. Woo-hoo! Well, this should be an interesting day of work. Weather's changing. It's almost October. We've got like a 50% chance of rain and gusts of wind up to 25, so I can't work with the insulation boards outside. They just blow everywhere. So we are going to use this table to cut things, and we're going to work on getting the rest of the ceiling, at least the first layer, put up. I've got some other boards. I'm hoping to get some of the second layer on, and then I'll know exactly what I need to buy to finish it up. But I'm hoping that this week I can finish up all of the ceiling insulation, and in the process I also need to wire both fans and our RV lights as well. So I'll be working on that wiring in the ceiling while I go ahead, but I'm hoping by the end of this week we're putting ceiling boards up and closing up the ceiling. That will be awesome. Good progress today. Got a lot of the second layer of insulation cut. Some of it's glued in place, some of it is not. I ran out of glue, but it's coming along really good. So it looks like all I'm going to need is 1 more piece of the 1.5 inch 4x8 to finish the rest of the second coating on the ceiling. And then I can start wiring my lights, running my fan wire, and then I can start putting up the actual ceiling boards, which are in the garage that I've already coated. Some of you might ask why I'm doing 3 inches and why I'm doing 2.5 inch boards instead of buying 3 inch thick board insulation. The biggest reason is, well, I wanted more insulation in the ceiling. I know it's worked really great in our house. We have R60 in our ceilings in our house. It's a lot more than code required, but we put extra in. And summertime, we don't get too hot. We rarely turn on our air conditioner, and in the wintertime with our wood stove, we rarely ever turn on our electric heater. So I wanted more insulation in the ceiling, and all the boards I've used so far that have finished almost all of it is boards I had left over from other projects. Don't ask me how I ended up with so many of them, but I had that much left over, so I used it, and that's why I did what I did for the 3 inches in the ceiling. The 2 inches in the floor and the wall, I figure, are more than adequate. They're thicker than most of your current RVs, and you know, I wanted that extra insulation value. We do like to do shoulder season stuff. We're even considering the possibility of one of these years going down to Quartzsite, Arizona for the Quartzsite RV show, and that's in January. So getting down there, it'll be really cold. So I just wanted extra insulation, and since I had all these extra boards left over, I figured what better thing to do with them than use up what I can in this project. And I literally have very, very little left over. I've seen some folks use them as cutting protection for your work table in a wood shop while you're sawing things, so I might do that. But got most of the insulation up. The boards have been varnished and are ready to go, so it's getting all of this glued in, get the last board purchased and cut and installed, which shouldn't take too much, and then start putting the boards up. So pretty exciting. Well, I got the last of the ceiling insulation panels glued up, so we are ready to start putting the ceiling boards on. Well, it's getting to be about dinner time, so I'm calling it for today. We'll get back at this hopefully tomorrow, but I got the first 3 pieces up, and I have to say I really like the way it looks. So far, so good. We'll keep chipping away at it. Been working on the ceiling again today. Got quite a bit done. Got past the fan today, and I started getting my inside lights wired, and got a lot of the wiring done. So what I'm going to do when I build the wardrobe and pantry over here, I'm going to have a section in the back that's basically an empty column, and I can run my wires down here. That's also where I'm going to drill through the roof and bring my solar wires in, because I want to put 400 watts of solar on the roof. So they'll also come down that little, I guess, chamber I'm going to build on the back, and you'll be able to access it with some screws and take a panel off and get to it on the back side. But got the wires started for there. One of those wires is for all of the interior lights, and the others are for the 2 fans. Got some of the wires ran to the next light back here, so that I've got everything done to this section of the roof. And then we'll have another light over here, over the kitchen, and another light in the bathroom, of course. So we'll have 4 interior lights. That does not include the 2 bed lights, those magnetic rechargeable ones we had. I did talk about in an early video of actually taking some sandpaper and hitting the magnets and the balls that the magnets mount to with some sandpaper to see if that would keep them from flopping over, and it worked. We were able to use them on another trip, and that came out really well. So that's where we're at now. And as always, it seems like I'm trying to get things done for the next camping trip. I've got a couple of weeks to try to wrap up as much as I can on the inside here. Then we head up to Belknap Hot Springs and then to MacGyver State Park. So stay tuned for those videos. They'll be coming shortly. And I'm hoping before we head off for those, because those are back-to-back trips, that I will have the wires hooked up from here going down to a fuse panel under the bed, because that's where the batteries and all my electrical system is going to be. And I also want to try to get the 30 amp outlet attached to the outside of the trailer and wired to a fuse panel in here, so we have 120. Because my guess is, being October, it's going to be chilly, and we're going to want a heater, so electric is a good thing to have. So we'll chip away at that and see what I can get done before our next camping trip. But I really like the way the ceiling's coming out. I think it's looking pretty good.